Hey gamers, Sleepy here, and welcome to a new pickup video. Today we'll start off with stuff I got at the half-price bookstore, and then we'll move on to stuff from the game stores. Unfortunately, I don't have anything from the thrift stores I shared with you guys. I just haven't really found anything this week there. I've been running into mostly sports titles. There was one Goodwill that actually had some decent titles, and I had planned to pick them up, but when I opened up the cases, they were all missing discs. I brought it up to the counter to see if maybe they had taken the discs out, because a couple locations here actually take the games out, they put them in a binder, and they leave those at the counter to help fight people from stealing. Unfortunately, this place did not do that, so that really sucks. I think it's worse than not finding anything, is actually going into a thrift store, finding something that's cool, you open it up, and the game's not in there. I did actually talk with the manager of that location for a few minutes and told her about how some of the other locations, how they lock up their games, and she said that they had been talking about doing that because she's noticed a high trend in theft of DVDs and music CDs and games and stuff. So hopefully they'll start doing that, because that'll help fight the theft. But it's just really sad that people have to go to thrift stores and steal stuff. Well, did find some cool stuff though at the half-price bookstore. The first thing I got there was a Wii game, and it is a steelbook form, and that is the limited edition of Cursed Mountain, which this is an awesome survival horror game. This was recommended to me by Lost Gamer 8519 and Tom TB46667, the Golden Age Gamer. Both of them had recommended it, said it was really fun. I have the regular version, which I played. It's really cool. But I heard that there was a collector's version, and I always wanted to get it. I just figured if I ever ran into it, I'd get a copy, and I finally did. And it's in great condition. It is steelbook, which I do love steelbooks. Complete with a manual, bonus disc, and the game, and they're both in excellent condition. And I got that for $10, so that's awesome. I actually have a couple of extra copies of the original one up for trade right now. They are missing the manual, which sucks. But if anyone's interested in the game, let me know. I am looking for more original Xbox titles, so definitely happy to grab that. Alright, next thing I got there was really awesome. It was the Game Boy player for the GameCube. It's in great condition, tested out, works great. And it also had the disc, which this is the hardest part to find when it comes to the Game Boy players. They almost always are missing the disc, and I've never seen one with the slip cover, so I definitely had to pick it up so I could have a complete looking one. It has the little instructions and the disc, which is awesome, and I got that for $25. For that price, I'm not going to leave it behind, because the disc alone sells for $25 to $40 in my area, and it's rare to even run into those. Usually I see this, but they never have the disc, and they still want like $30 for this, so that's kind of stupid. But very happy to get that. I now have all three GameCubes. I got my purple, my platinum, and now my black GameCube will all have a Game Boy player for underneath, so very happy with that. Alright guys, now we'll move on to stuff from the game stores. I got some Skylander pickups here. Now that's been a while since I've gotten any Skylander stuff. I've completed the first Skylander games set. I have all the Skylanders for that. I have almost all the guys for the Swap Force. I'm only missing a couple. But there's a lot of them for a trap team that I need, but I really just haven't run into any of them at all lately, so I haven't been able to pick them up. But luckily this location actually had a couple games and a couple of the characters turned in, so I picked up some of those. And they were all $4 each. And the first one I got, I'm not sure his name, I can't remember, but we got him. I got Chopper. Gear Shift, this was one of the Trap Masters. I think this one was Woblob or something like that. And finally, Tidal Wave Gill Grunt. And all of those were $4 each, which is a great price for those. So, happy to add a couple more Skylanders to the collection. I definitely have a lot more to go. I also picked up a couple of loose Amiibos there, which I'm not really too big into Amiibo collecting. I know there's some people that are real big into it and they collect and they have all of them. I'm just going to pick up a few here and there as I get them for cheap. I'm not going to pay more than retail for them. And I got these for a pretty good deal. The first one I got was Pac-Man, and he was $8, not bad. I also got a Donkey Kong for $8, and the last one I got for $10 was Bowser, which is really cool, and he's pretty heavy. I do like the Amiibos. I think they're pretty cool to collect. They definitely make neat collectibles, even if you don't use them for what they're intended for as far as with the games. But I just think it's kind of shitty that Nintendo really hasn't released a whole lot of the rare ones. You know, they kept them really rare when they just kept printing tons and tons of them. You know, they just keep making money. So I hope that they fix that issue, but, you know, I'm sure that it'll be like it is, where there's just going to be those ones you really can't get, but, you know, I'm not too disappointed since I'm not really collecting much Amiibos. If I get a few of them for cheap, I'll be picking them up, but otherwise, I'm not really going to focus on them since I really want to focus on my Xbox collection, which we'll get into those in just a moment. I did get a Nintendo DS game loose, and that was Super Monkey Ball Touch and Roll. I got that for $2. I also got a Game Gear title, and that was Echo the Dolphin, which is a pretty cool game. Definitely recommend it. If you got a Game Gear, pick it up. I got that for $1.50. And now we'll move on to stuff here. These are all Xbox titles that I needed for the collection. First up, I got a copy of Speed Kings. It's a motorcycle racing game. Complete. I got that for $2.50. Next up, I got one of the Scooby-Doo games I needed, and it was Scooby-Doo Unmasked. Great condition. Complete. And I paid $4 for that, so not bad. Next, I got a copy here of Mark Echo's Getting Up, Contents Under Pressure. Never played this game before, not sure how it is. If you guys have, let me know. But it looks like you're some kind of graffiti guy, and you're fighting back with tyranny and stuff, so I'm not sure how it is. We'll have to check it out. It is complete, and I got that for $5, so not bad. Next up, I got Pump Up Exceed. It's another one of those dancing games like DDR. I know that Lost Gamer 8519 loves this game. I'm not too huge into them, but I know my girl will enjoy playing it, so I'm going to give it to her to try out. And I got that for $5. Next up, I got a copy here of Pinball Hall of Fame. Got that for $6, which I do love pinball games. They're really cool. It is complete, so not a bad little find for $6. Next up, we got 4x4 Evo 2 Evolution only works in the wild. This lets you play a whole bunch of off-road vehicles and races and stuff, which is cool. That one's complete. I got that for $6. Next up, another Lego title here, which I absolutely love Lego games. I always recommend them, and that was Lego Star Wars 2, the original trilogy. I recently got the first Lego game, and I needed this one here. Great family game. Definitely an okay game for kids, you know. There are some little violent stuff fighting in the game, but it's just little Lego blocks and stuff, so definitely if you got little kids and they like Star Wars and stuff, definitely is a game for them because no one really gets hurt. It's just Legos, and it's just an overall fun game. It's complete, and I got that for $10, so happy with that. Grabbed a Spyro title, which I do love Spyro games, and they're starting to get up there in price, especially on Xbox. I got this one here, Spyro, A Hero's Tale. Great condition. Complete. And that one cost me $15. They did have the other one there. Unfortunately, it was missing a manual, so I had to leave it behind. I'll run into another one here down the road. But I got that. Next two titles here I was really happy to find. First one here was for $25, and that was a copy of Fatal Frame, the first one. I got the second one this year, and I finally tracked down the first one. This is another one of those titles I've been after for a long time, but I just never run into it. It's pretty uncommon, so very happy to get it, especially in this condition and being complete. I paid $25 for that, and that's definitely a good deal for that. And the last title I picked up is definitely pretty uncommon, especially in my area. I've only ever seen this game once, and that's when it was complete. Unfortunately, this one was missing the controller, and that is the original Steel Battalion. This game cost me $40, which is crazy. Unfortunately, you cannot play it unless you have the controller, but that thing is expensive. I see it on eBay sometimes for like $250, $300, $400, which I'm not going to pay that for the controllers. Not right now, maybe down the road, but I at least wanted to get the game out of the way so I could add it to the collection, and I did. Sucks I had to pay $40, but, you know, it is what it is. You know, I can always sell a couple of extras, and that'll pay for it, so I'm just happy to finally get one, and it is in complete condition, great condition as well. And so I'm just happy to finally knock off another more uncommon title. I know there's another Steel Battalion game. I can't remember what it is, but there's another one, the second one after this. I still need to get that as well. But definitely happy to add all those Xbox titles to the collection. And I'm slowly getting closer and closer every week to completing my Xbox collection, so that's awesome. I want to thank you guys for watching. Be sure to check out my Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Asiansleepy1. You guys can also check out my website I created. That's where I keep track of my growing game collection. I always have pictures on there and keep that updated along with my Facebook. And if you guys want to play games with me, be sure to check out the description. I have all of my gamer tags for the Xbox, the Nintendo, and PlayStation consoles. Alright, thanks for watching. Take care. Have a great day, and sleep. I'll see you guys next time.